welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the transformative power of self-love and why it's crucial for living a fulfilling life. Self-love isn't about vanity or ego, it's about radical self-acceptance. We're going to explore 20 compelling reasons to embrace self-love, 20 ways that choosing ourselves can profoundly change how we experience the world. So, if you're ready to embark on this journey of self-discovery and embrace the power of self-love, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Chapter 1. Managing expectations, aligning with reality. Self-love isn't about existing in a constant state of bliss. It's about being honest with ourselves, even when it's hard. So often, we set ourselves up for disappointment by clinging to unrealistic expectations of ourselves and others. Self-love encourages us to let go of those rigid expectations and embrace the messy, imperfect reality of who we are. We allow ourselves to stumble, to course correct, to learn and grow along the way without the crushing weight of unrealistic expectations. Chapter 2. Forgiveness of others. A journey that begins within. Forgiveness, it's a word that can feel heavy, especially when we've been hurt deeply. Holding on to anger and resentment, it doesn't punish the other person, it only keeps us tethered to the pain. Self-love is the key to unlocking true forgiveness. It's about choosing peace over the exhausting cycle of blame and bitterness. Chapter 3. Sense of control. You are the author of your story. Life can feel chaotic, unpredictable, like we're constantly being tossed about by forces outside of our control. Self-love reminds us that we are not helpless bystanders in our own lives. We have agency, we have a voice, we have the power to make choices. When we cultivate self-love, we step into our own power. We trust ourselves to navigate the ups and downs of life, knowing that we have the inner resources to handle whatever comes our way. Chapter 4. Empowering self-talk, the conversation within. Our inner voice, that constant stream of thoughts and self-talk, it has a profound impact on how we see ourselves and the world around us. Self-love challenges us to become aware of that inner dialogue and to start speaking to ourselves with the same compassion and kindness we would offer to a dear friend. With practice and intention, we can shift that inner dialogue and create a more loving and supportive internal environment. Chapter 5. Creative problem solving, unlocking your inner innovator. Life is full of problems, big and small. When we believe in ourselves, when we trust our abilities, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. We approach challenges with a sense of curiosity and playfulness, knowing that even if we don't find the perfect answer right away, the journey itself is valuable. Give yourself permission to be creative, to think differently, to trust your instincts. Chapter 6. Better decision-making, the wisdom within. We make countless decisions every single day, some small and inconsequential, others life-altering. Self-love empowers us to make decisions that are in alignment with our values, our needs, and our truest selves. It's about tuning in to our intuition, that inner wisdom that already knows what's best for us. It's about progress, not perfection. Chapter 7. Self-love as a model, leading by example. Our actions, both big and small, speak volumes about how we value and care for ourselves. When we prioritize our well-being, when we set healthy boundaries, when we speak kindly to ourselves, we're sending a powerful message to those around us. We're showing them that self-love isn't selfish, it's essential. Let's model self-love in our own lives and inspire others to do the same. Chapter 8. Joyful living, embracing the beauty of now. Joy, it's not something we find outside of ourselves. It's something we cultivate from within. Self-love allows us to experience joy more fully, more authentically. We're free to savor the simple pleasures, to appreciate the beauty that surrounds us, to experience gratitude for the gift of life itself. Joy becomes less of a fleeting emotion and more of a way of being, a deep-seated sense of contentment and peace that radiates from within. Chapter 9. Enhanced focus, clarity from within. Our minds, they're like gardens. Self-love is the act of tending to that garden. It's about weeding out the thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve us, the ones that hold us back and dim our light. When our minds are clear, we're able to channel our energy toward the things that truly matter to us. Chapter 10. Self-advocacy, using your voice with kindness and courage. Self-love empowers us to speak up for ourselves, to honor our needs and desires, to set healthy boundaries with compassion and clarity. It's about recognizing that our needs are just as valid as anyone else's. It's about communicating those needs with kindness and respect, both for ourselves and for others. Each time we speak our truth, each time we set a healthy boundary, we build our self-love muscle and create space for more authenticity and joy in our lives. Chapter 11. Increased patience, extending grace to ourselves and others. Patience. It's not just about waiting in line without complaining. It's about approaching ourselves and others with kindness and understanding, especially when we're feeling challenged. Self-love is the foundation of patience because it allows us to extend grace to ourselves, even when we stumble or fall short of our own expectations. When we're able to be patient with ourselves, it becomes easier to extend that same patience to others. Chapter 12. Sense of belonging, finding home within yourself. The human need to belong, to feel connected, it's hardwired into our DNA. Self-love is the foundation of belonging because it allows us to accept and embrace ourselves fully, imperfections and all. When we love and accept ourselves, we no longer feel the need to change or hide who we are in order to fit in. We create deeper, more meaningful connections because we're not trying to be someone we're not. Intuition, that quiet inner voice, that gut feeling, it's always there, guiding us towards what's best for us. Self-love is about learning to trust that inner compass again. It's about quieting the external noise and tuning in to the wisdom that resides within us. When we act from a place of self-love, we're honoring our own truth, even when it's scary or unconventional. We're wired for connection, for intimacy, for sharing our lives with others. But true connection, the kind that's built on authenticity and vulnerability, it can only exist when we're grounded in self-love. Self-love allows us to show up in our relationships as our most authentic selves. We're not afraid to be vulnerable, to express our needs, to set boundaries, because we know that our worthiness isn't contingent on the approval of others. We create deeper, more meaningful connections because we're free to simply be ourselves. Life is stressful, there's no getting around it. But how we manage that stress, how we cope with the inevitable challenges of life, that's where self-love comes in. Self-love is about recognizing that we can't pour from an empty cup. It's about prioritizing our well-being, both physically and emotionally. It's about setting boundaries, saying no to things that drain us, and making time for activities that bring us joy and rejuvenation. In the busyness of life, it's easy to let self-care fall by the wayside. But self-love isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's about creating rituals, daily practices that nourish our minds, bodies, and souls. These rituals, they're not selfish indulgences, they're acts of self-preservation. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of life, constantly striving, achieving, reaching for the next milestone. But how often do we stop to celebrate our accomplishments, to acknowledge how far we've come? Self-love is about recognizing and honoring our victories, both big and small. It's about celebrating the wins, no matter how seemingly insignificant they might seem. Self-love encourages us to own our successes, to acknowledge the role we played in achieving them. Our worth, it's not something that's earned or determined by external factors. Our worth, it's inherent. We are worthy simply because we exist. Self-love is about remembering that we are enough, just as we are. It's about silencing the inner critic that tells us we're not good enough, smart enough, thin enough, successful enough. What does it mean to live a meaningful life? It's a question that has pondered philosophers and everyday people alike for centuries. Self-love is essential for creating a meaningful life because it allows us to identify and honor our values. It's about getting clear on what truly matters to us, what brings us joy, what makes us feel alive. And it's about making choices, both big and small, that reflect those values. Life is a journey, not a destination. Self-love is the fertile ground from which growth emerges. Self-love encourages us to be curious, to explore new possibilities, to never stop learning and evolving. It's about recognizing that we are dynamic, ever-changing beings, and that the journey of becoming is just as important as the destination. Thank you for watching. Remember, self-love is not a destination but a journey. It's a practice, a daily commitment to showing up for ourselves with kindness, compassion, and acceptance. Embrace the journey of self-love, bumps and all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring content.